And now on Overdrive, action from the Mini 7 Racing Club.
This year, the Mini 7 Club celebrates its 50th anniversary. We're here at Castle Combe to check out the action and chat to the competitors to see what brings them back year on year. Mike, exactly why is it that the Minis have been racing now for 50 odd years? What's the appeal? You must know, you've been around this game long enough.
Small cars, all the same, developed the same way, closeness to the racing, people love it. And now they are classed as historic racing, really. It's becoming younger people's way of going forward.
What is it about it, Charlie? Why do people still want to drive these Minis?
Well, for me, my dad was racing sevens in the 80s, so I've kind of been brought up around it. I'm not really interested in driving anything else at the minute. And I don't think you can beat them for the fun factor, really. They're on a track day, they're not so great. You get passed by the faster cars. But when you've got 25 other Minis buzzing around out there, you can't beat it.
And, I mean, obviously there's a lot of effort and work going on. Do you think there's they're very expensive to run, or do you think it's pretty comparable with other forms of racing?
It depends how far you want to go. You know, we've gone to town with a car and got all the flash bits, but you don't have to do that. There's cars out the front that are pretty basic. So it depends how far you want to go, really, personal preference.
There's a lot of other things out there. What is it that's drawn you to these?
There's a lot of other things. I was looking at using an old 944 and looking as a novice trying to get into things. I went round, watched a lot of racing, and it was affordability. That was one of them. The points to get into mini racing is actually slightly lower cost than other race series, and also I think it's the classic, just the appeal of the car. You know, it's a British icon, isn't it? And people all over the UK love it, and fun as well. I think that's the other thing. The club are very hospitable. They've welcomed all of us novices with open arms, and they can't do enough for you and help you. So that has a lot to do with it, because it's a minefield when you're going to get started in racing. You don't know where to turn, you don't know how much it's going to cost, you don't know where to start. And the Mini 7 Club are very good at helping people with that and getting you going.
So let's have a brief history lesson. The Mini 7 Racing Club was founded in 1966 with one class, the 850 Mini 7. In 1970 they were joined by the 1 litre Mini Miglia, and that's the way it stood until the early 1990s. In 91, the Mini 7s replaced the 850 with a 1 litre engine, and then in 94 the Miglias were then fitted with a 1275 engine. Both classes have an S subclass, and these use a 1275 engine, with the 7 having a more restrictive state of tune.
Colin, what is it after 50 years that keeps people still wanting to drive these little cars?
Well, I think if you had a chance to drive one of them, you'd realise that they're just tremendous fun to throw into a corner and come out broadly faster. And so it's just the handling of them, I think, that makes them special, and the fact it's a one-make championship. It's got credentials going back 50 years. I think these are the things that make it fantastic.
I think as well for myself, it's the fact that compared to other one-make championships, it's just a set of rules where people can engineer and build the car as they are comfortable with it, rather than buying something that's already being done.
Yeah, absolutely. That encouraged creativity as well, which is always a good thing. But I remember that for me, you know, the reason I got into it was, you know, back was about 9 or 10. Our next door neighbour used to go racing with a single-seater. I used to get to the grandstand at 7 o'clock in the morning when they were there, sat there till 5 o'clock in the evening when it finished. And the best races of the day were always the mini races, and that's why I wanted to do it.
And how long have you actually been mini racing now yourself?
Not 50 years. No, I've been probably doing it for about sort of 18, 19 years.
And did you start in sevens and come up to MIGs? Or?
No, I've always did MIGs, and I did karting before that.
So quite a lot of experience in these little cars.
Yes, you'd think I'd be doing better, wouldn't you? Yes.
I've got a Mini 7, used to be owned by Dick Hunter, so I guess a lot of history in it. But I actually started with a scholarship, went to watch touring cars, never grew up with racing or anything. There was a scholarship advertised for Clear Cup, did a bit of that, got quite far in it. I just thought, well, I need some more bum in seat time, and looked at a few budget championships, and this just seemed to be so competitive. And coincidentally, I went to Brands Hatch, watched the Rainmeister over here just flee from everybody when it hurled it down, and that was the first ever mini race I'd ever watched.
And I mean, you've got a good teammate here, so we'll ask Max what the rivalry's like. You're doing pretty well for yourself, because you even had a test in a touring car last year, didn't you?
Yeah, I managed to win the raffle for the touring car drive. That was an experience that I won't ever forget.
So how many years have you now been racing then, Max?
I've been racing since I was 13, so I started racing about 2001. I started in autograss, racing a Class 1 Junior Mini. I did that for 2 or 3 years, and then when I was 16, I came to do Mini 7 racing because my dad had done it.
It is that thing about it. You're either a mini person, you understand them, you can live with the foibles of the engine and the gearbox and all the other gnaws, and everyone looks at you and go, why are you still faffing around with those things? And none of us who do that can ever explain it, can we?
No, I mean, a lot of the championships that you can run in are basically road cars where you just stick fuel and oil in them, off you go, but these require a little more fettling than just doing that. It's very hands-on doing the car. A lot of stuff you can do to them as well with modifications and setting the car up. It's basically like a little mini touring car.
You are at the front end of the grid at the moment. Has that taken a while to get there, or do you it's been slowly developing, learning your racecraft?
Yeah, I've been slowly developing and learning over the years. I mean, from when I started autograss, every time you go out there is a learning curve. So it's good to be nearly getting at the front now. Yeah.
And what will be the next step? Is to join James here in the Miglias, is it? You're thinking, oh, I fancy a bit of that.
We need to start winning some races in Mini 7s first before we start thinking about stuff like that.
And what is it about the minis? Why do the people still love racing these little cars?
Because they're so close racing. You come to watch a Mini 7 club and it's bumper to bumper, and you don't know who's going to win till the last lap. I mean, Mini 7 race yesterday, there was 4 of us going for the lead for 18 for 20 minutes of the whole race, you know. And on the last lap is when you know who the winner is on the last corner, and there's not many formulas where you can stand on the side of the track and watch that close racing.
Long may it continue. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
We'll have a word with James now and see what got him into this as well. So it's pretty close competition for yourselves in the MIGs. How long have you been doing the MIGs now, and did you do 7s as well?
So I've been doing MIGs about 3. I took last year off. I did about 2 years before that, and then I did about 5 years of 7s before that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'd never done any racing before that. I never did any karting. I never did any grassing. I kind of wanted just to kind of start racing, and so a relation did Miglias. And through that, I got to meet Mark, and then we bought a car, and then slowly worked my way up. But after 2 years of 7s, I was certainly nowhere near Spencer, which is depressing to watch him go so well so early on.
And I mean, the fact that you've got you've got no history in racing, but the minis is what drew you in. It was just that, I suppose that heritage of motorsport in the car, and they're so iconic, is what draws people in, I suppose.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, every race meeting, there's generally people come from all over the world to come see the sevens, and you get contact on social media of people from like Thailand who are into minis, and they just love kind of watching the racing online. So yeah, there's such a massive following of it, and as Spencer said, the racing is so close. All the cars are pretty similar, so any number of people can win a race from the last lap. It's also just a really nice club, actually. I think I lucked out kind of joining this club because we have barbecues at most meetings where everyone comes along.
Yeah.
There's often someone wandering around with cake, giving it out. This is probably why I'm not up the front, because I'm more interested in the cake than the racing. But it's just a really nice environment, really great environment.
Yeah, I mean, I remember being involved with the club a few years ago, and it's never changed. It's always been so opening, so welcoming, the barbecues and everything. It's just a lovely place to be and race with.
Yeah, very much. It's great. And actually, when I first joined, I thought, because these cars are out of production now, they're 50 years old. I kind of thought like the number of cars are going to drop off and the racing is going to drop off, but because there's such a mini scene and such a following, there's so many parts, the numbers are growing still.
As the checkered flag falls here at Castle Combe, it's time to look forward to possibly the next 50 years of mini racing.